What's up? This is Derek.
Jamie Madrock.
Man, this your man's Obi Trice.
This is Ad-Lib.
Yo, what up? This is Specs One.
This is Special K.
Hot Rock's the motherfucking Skot MC.
Breaking
Wreckords.
Breaking Records Radio out here.
This is Breaking Records Radio.
Check them out, man.
You got the rap group, the Monolith?
Yeah.
There's 10 members in there?
Yeah, the number keeps fluctuating because, you know, when we started as a crew, so this is a cool question because it sort of segues out of Electric Circus. I was in elementary school.
Yeah.
I started high school right after that summer. And Lindo P was already in the school. So I met a bunch of dudes who also rhymed. And we're talking about dudes like Grimace Love,
Yeah.
Parker, formerly Spider-Man, Charisma.
Yeah.
Well, Charisma I was already in elementary school with. So both of us in high school.
So you guys go back like
we
that,
go
man.
back.
Okay.
But in elementary school, we weren't. I mean, he was new to the country. We weren't really kicking it. When he started hanging with the hip hop dudes in high school, I was like, "Yo, man!" And all of a sudden, we became crew. Once again, there was a contest in school.
Yeah.
Grimace and I, we didn't even know each other, but we tied. It was weird. It's like they didn't choose a winner. We both won. And what was cool about it is that's why they call him Grimace Love. Everyone loves him, and he's a real down-to-earth bro. And I have to say that because he's still my brethren to this day, but also his attitude was similar to mine. We didn't see each other as competition or as enemies. We're like, you rhyme, I rhyme, we're both dope, let's be crew. So it was almost automatic that we decided we're going to form something. And we'd go to assemblies, you know, like everyone does in high school, and watch people sing or play instruments or whatever. And we'd always find each other wherever we were in the gym, like, and we'd look at each other and be like, oh, who's this? So we created the Lieberman Lyrical Coalition. Francis Lieberman was the name of the high school.
Yeah.
Scarborough High School. Half of the Monolith went there. And eventually we cut out the name Lieberman because it wasn't about school for us anymore. We just jumped into like talent shows, and anywhere where we could perform, we jump on it.
Yeah.
So we were the Lyrical Coalition. About, I think there may have been upwards of 10 of us at the time. But the Horde was a group from another spot in Scarborough. Corey D's, Black Cat, Nish Rocks were the Horde. And we connected a couple years into high school. The Horde plus Lyrical Coalition, Monolith.
All right.
And I'm telling you, we had this is the truth, upwards of 20-something or other guys, all in specific groups, like small groups in one big group.
Oh, snap, eh?
And it was getting so crazy that we actually had a audition, believe it or not, amongst ourselves, with the 20-odd dudes to remain a part of the crew. Like when we were like, we're going to take this serious. This ain't about high school anymore. We want to go in and be somebody. Who's Monolith? It was in Charisma's basement at the time, his parents' crib. We did an anonymous vote. Everyone wrote a check mark or an X on a piece of paper, put it in a hat. And we performed for each other.
Yeah.
As I literally get up now, put on a beat, and rock. And I am happy to say I got full check marks. All right? And Monolith became official, so to speak, when we voted in and voted out particular members.
Yeah.
And since then, like I said, it's fluctuated a little bit because Monolith also incorporated graffiti artists, producers, and DJs. The 10 men that exist today as the official group Monolith would continue to work as a group. So the group who actually put out the record,
Monolith record.
yeah, the Monolith record, sort of stands today as the 10 of us. But again, the Monolith family is so much bigger.
Yeah.
And it's important for me to say in this interview that, because so many people ask me about Monolith, that Monolith remains a family today. And I use the word very specifically because we are family. You know, shouts to Parker. He just turned 40 this month, and we took him out. You know what I'm saying? Like I actually missed his surprise party, so I took him out for drinks and stuff. Me and Grim and him, and it's like that's what we do. We're each other's best men at our weddings. And I'm godfather to 2 of Monolith's, to Charisma and Wild K's daughter. You know, like we're family.
Yeah.
They all came to my daughter's 2nd birthday. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where we're at right now. So when people ask what's going on with the music, really the answer is, I don't know. We're just family. We're really, so the Monolith family is way bigger than 10. You know, there's all dudes doing the DAP that we created in the 90s, like part of the family, but have nothing to do with rhyming or making records. There are Monolith members who are no longer rhyming and making records.
It's kind of more just a movement in a sense.
Yeah, because, you know, like I said,
or became.
The term monolith came from the concept of one, mono,
Yeah.
unification. One Rock was the name of our label. And I'm happy to say that through all the ups and downs in the music industry, we've remained a unit, for the most part, as friends. You know, we still are there for each other.
Yeah.
You know, God bless Destro. I want to shout him out because he's the first member of the family to have passed away, and his funeral was earlier this year. And we were all there. You know what I'm saying? The whole family was there. That's what Monolith really is. So for anybody curious what's going on as a new record coming out, all I can tell you is the family is together. And families have their, you know, their ups and downs.
Yeah.
But that's my family.
That's
so.
surprising, man. I find usually it's groups of 2 that survive, like Mob Deep and 20 plus
Yeah,
years. When you get 10
actually.
people in there, that's when it starts getting crazy with 10
Well, to
different
be honest
insights.
with you, yeah, it was crazy. And I'll be completely real. The reason a Monolith album never came to fruition is because it was too crazy.
Yeah.
You get, 10 people trying to accomplish one
Common goal,
joint
yeah.
common goal, yeah. And, to use the analogy, the chefs in the kitchen, you got 10 guys in the kitchen. They all have 10 different recipes for the same dish. And everyone probably wants to use their recipe, not really your recipe. And there's sometimes it's like, yeah.
Yeah. You almost
was-
need someone to overlook it all and kind
Absolutely.
of delegate people.
One voice of
I
reason.
was just
Yeah.
going to say, it sounds like I was quite impressed there. It's quite a democratic way of when you done the vote, right? Like,
Yeah.
how young were you when you were thinking like that? You know what I mean? Like,
We were, when we did that was before Dear Hip Hop, man. So
word up.
I think, no. Yeah, it was. It was around that era. So
Word up.
let's.
Because you guys dropped the EP. You guys dropped the Monolith
The Monolith
right?
EP,
97?
the long-awaited, dropped in '98.
Okay.
so you guys were already building like that, like,
A couple of years prior. Yeah.
having votes and stuff. How was it? How did people take it when they got voted out? Like, how was that? Were people angry, or were people like, oh,
That's a good question.
we ain't really cool
because I
anymore?
would have been.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it just sounds like a really grown up way to handle it, and the best way to do it instead of we'll just
Beating around
decide
the
he's
bush
out.
Yeah.
It's all in the open, right? And it's all like
Yeah.
between friends, and I think that's
Yeah.
really respectful, like how you've done that.
Thank you. I agree with you, actually. To the best of my recollection, the group of, I think, like 4 guys or whatever who was voted out, it's actually crazy. I think they were the last group to go. And if I'm not mistaken, I remember there was someone in charge of collecting the votes, counting the votes, revealing the votes, right? I wasn't part of that. I don't remember being part of that. But I remember, he might hate me to say this, I don't know, but Black Cat, at the end, part of IRS, who obviously was voted in, I remember him saying, yo, let me do the last vote. For some reason, he was interested in reading the last vote. And he read it, and it was the only elimination of the day, to my recollection, and he had the hard task of going, sorry guys, you didn't get voted in.
He wanted that.
Oh, maybe he did. He practices law today, so he's got to be hard-nosed.
Here's the precursor.
Yeah, man, that's my dude. And I will say this, and not to like, it's certainly not shade. Those guys remain cool with us.
Yeah, what up?
I remember them taking it pretty well, and come to think of it, you make a good point, because for our age, I mean, that shit could have turned into a fight.
Exactly.
It actually went down pretty cool.
It could have been a fight, or just how feisty some people can be, and everyone like.
It's like, alright, well, I ain't fucking with
Cool,
them
make a
no more.
decision and then just not tell you anything about it, and then you just wonder why no one's answering the phone. So I think it's cool how you just done it, just like men.
Respect, bro. I really wish, as Monolith, we could have handled things as professionally as time went on.
Yeah.
As time went on, it got more difficult.
Yeah.
I wish I could explain why.
Yeah, understood.
I mean, one of the reasons I holler out Monolith so much as my family is because they are. And it's also, sort of the focus I'd rather have, because it's tough to talk to you about the past 20 years and say why we didn't put out a record again as a crew. I mean, shit, bro, if I had it my way, if I could wave a magic wand, we'd be several albums deep.
Yeah.
I'd be more solo albums deep. I've always loved the idea of being a solo artist, but also having a crew. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love making music so much, and I just love music so much in general. I love doing different things, experimenting with sound. I got an album out with Promise. We're Perfect Strangers.
Yeah.
And that was fun, and that was a lot different than some of the other stuff that I do, and I love it.
Yeah.
Because it is different, because it does allow me to experiment and expand what I can do as an artist. And what I do with Monolith is also different. You know, people called us the Canadian Wu-Tang, and had that harder edge sound, and you know, I'm obviously biased, but I still believe that Monolith possesses some of the craziest MCs and producers who's ever lived, not in Canada, in the world.
Yeah.
And it does bother me that the world will really never know. You know, there are tracks, dudes, oh my god.
It's one of them hidden chambers, right?
Oh,
it's in the vault.
It's painful sometimes.
Yeah,
If I could play the joints
yeah.
that we've done that never came out.
Where are they cooking? Are they on DAT tapes like that? Just
you know what,
somewhere?
man? I mean, some of the dudes must have them somewhere. I mean, I know I had them some on tape a long time ago. Even in recent years, too, we tried to do some stuff again. Shouts to Landscape, who actually made it happen through his own solo project called Return to the Classics, where he got all the Monolith MCs to do a different track. So it's not like we've never worked again together.
Yeah.
But
getting everyone on board for a whole project is a little
and there's
bit.
killer joints, bro, out there.
I feel like you're hiding a Northern Touch from us.
Dude, I mean... yeah.
Breaking fucking Wreckords Radio.